Hey, 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 it is an unstoppable day. What's going on, Facebook family? It's been a minute, but it's an unstoppable day. It's your boy, Terrance, the Unstoppable Coach Leftridge with UnStopABLE Stories Show. And you know, if it's Tuesday night, it's got to be the Unstoppable Stories Show. And we come to you talking to ordinary people with unstoppable stories, but we got a little bit of twist for you tonight. Yeah. There is no special guest, although we may have some people coming through later on in the broadcast. But right now, it's just me. It's your boy. It's solo, Mr. Unstoppable, coming to you to share my unstoppable story. And I want to talk to you about something that is happening in my life, something that is near and dear to me, and something that hopefully by my experiences is going to shed some light on your experiences, and maybe, just maybe, it may motivate you to do something different. So give me a second. Come on, swipe and share like you normally do as we invite some people to the broadcast. I know it's a beautiful summer night here in the city of Chicago. Hopefully, it's a beautiful night wherever you are, or if you're watching us in the replay, hopefully it's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful afternoon, or a beautiful evening, depending on where you are. We're coming live to you again on Be Live TV, simulcasting through the Facebook Live. So you know what we always ask you to do. If you are watching us live, then go ahead and type the number 1 in the feed, and we will definitely shout you out during this broadcast. But hey, maybe you had something else doing. Maybe you're parasailing right now. Maybe you are doing an evening cruise somewhere in some beautiful river or some beautiful lake or some beautiful ocean, and you're just not watching us live. Well, that's okay. Maybe you're watching us the next morning and you can put in the number 2 and let us know that you are watching the replay. Either way, we always get back in contact with you. We appreciate you. We know you could be doing anything else other than watching this quality programming. So we appreciate you, and we want to thank you in advance for showing up with the Unstoppable Stories Show. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about the topic tonight, and it's called jumping. And before we talk about that topic tonight, just want to share a little bit of something with you. So just hold on just 1 second. Let me cue this up and we will be right back. I hate that I love you, don't want to, but I can't put nobody else above you. I hate you, I love you, I hate that I want you. You want her, you need her, and I'll never be her. So I shared that video with you guys because I wanted you to understand the whole idea of the jump. The jump was important to share because I just decided on July 31st that I was going to jump. And so, no, I didn't jump off a cliff in the Caribbean Ocean. No, I didn't jump off a tall building here in the city of Chicago. No, I did the proverbial jump. The jump out of that 9 to 5 into the clear sky of entrepreneurship. It's been something that I've been thinking about for quite some time. Hey, Marie Gandy, thank you for joining us. Go ahead, swipe and share, swipe and share. Something I had been thinking about for quite some time. Anyone who's been following me with the UnStopABLE Stories Show, or even following me personally, knows that I have been doing this show in the live stream arena for over 3 years now. But I've been doing the internet broadcasting and interviewing people now since 2011 in different formats and different kinds of venues, internet radio, and now live streaming video. And I've been doing my coaching since 2009, but I had always had something else. Always had a 9 to 5 to fall upon. As a matter of fact, when I started my coaching practice in 2009, it was because of the fact that I had lost my good government job just a year before then. I had that defining moment. And, you know, I talk about in the book, Moving from Past to Purpose, having your defining moment. And it was that defining moment back in 2009 that said, okay, there's more that you can do. So why don't you go and do that? Go live your best life. Go find what you're passionate about. Go see what else there is in this world other than that 9 to 5, that job, which we all call just over broke. And so I started my coaching practice then. And I tipped into the deep water of entrepreneurship. But like most of us, and somebody's watching this right now, you don't have to raise your hand, but just think to yourself, most of us, we get afraid, we get scared, and we don't want to put all our eggs in that proverbial bag, that proverbial basket, because we don't know what really can happen. So even though I jumped out and I had started my own practice, I still had another job in the background. So I was doing the job, the just over broke, fulfilling somebody else's dream from 2009 just up till now, 2019. 10 years with another company. While in the background, I was using that job to fund my dream, which was the coaching, and which was the speaking, and which was the shows and the publishing, and now the books. All those things, the job, just over broke, allowed me to fund those things. But it just came to a point where it just wasn't enough anymore. It got harder and harder to get up every Monday through Friday and go to work and fulfill somebody else's dream, and then come home and be dog tired and really not have enough time to invest in my own dreams. So my wife and I, we talked about it, and we've been talking about it since last year. But when we talked about it last year, we talked about actually my wife jumping because she was frustrated with her job as well. So we had put a date on the calendar for 2019 where we were going to walk away from our jobs and we were going to do something different. Well, I don't need to tell you that that date came and went, but we revised that date, and July 31st, your boy officially left his job and is now in the world of full-time entrepreneurship. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I say that not to impress you. I say that to impact you and to let you know that even being unstoppable, there are fears. There are things that have held me back. There are things that have stopped me from being unstoppable. And I finally had to have a come to Jesus meeting with myself. And I had to say to people that, how can I continue to tell you to be unstoppable or to encourage you to live the unstoppable life? And I wasn't being fully authentic with that myself. And that really wore on me as time went by, because I encourage people to live your best life. I encourage people to not be stopped. I encourage people not to give up. And little by little, there were things that were happening in my life that was stopping me from being the truly unstoppable person that I want to be. So in being authentic and being real and keeping it real and doing what needs to be done to hold you accountable in your lives, then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to do anything less in my life than I would encourage you or hold you accountable to do it in your life. So we are walking this journey together. It is truly an unstoppable day in the Unstoppable Coaching Services life, as well as the Unstoppable Stories Show. So I want to share during the course of this hour my unstoppable story with you of why I decided to jump, and to give you 4 reasons why you must jump in your life if you truly want to be unstoppable. And here's the other thing I'm going to do. Hey, Sonia, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining in. Come on, swipe and share. Please, if you don't share any other show that I've done, this is the night to share this show, because I'm going to be raw. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be authentic. And here's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to invite you to come onto the show. If you've jumped, if you have a story of how you have jumped in your life, I want you to come into this feed this evening. All you need is your phone. If your phone has a camera on it and it's a smartphone, all you need to do is log into this link, and then we'll be able to bring you into the show. If you're on your laptop, if your laptop has a camera, then you should be able to come onto this show. If you have an external camera on your laptop or your computer or your desktop, with this link, you should be able to come into the show. Because what do we always do on the Unstoppable Story Show? We talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. And if you have jumped, then you have an unstoppable story. So here's what I'm going to do. Here we go. Here is the link. I have never, ever, ever done this on the show, ever. So this is the first. I told y'all I was jumping, but here is the link. Bam, right there. So if you have a story of how you have jumped and now you are truly living the unstoppable life, and you are bold enough to come on and share your story, not right now. And once I see you in the lobby, then we will give you the opportunity 2 minutes, 3 minutes top, if it's good, to share the story of how you have jumped. So I'm going to leave that up for a couple of minutes so that you can get that link, copy and paste that link. And all you have to do is jump out and go into that link, and then I will see you in our green room, and then I will bring you up to the show. I'll put that back up in a couple of seconds for those who didn't get it, but there it is right there. And if somebody wants to grab that link real quick and put it down in the comments, that would be fabulous. But let me tell you, I don't want to make it seem, and I'm not going to make it seem, that since I jumped just a little, almost a week ago, that everything has been great. But I am going to start out by saying what a freeing feeling it has been to jump. I tell you that when I was waking up Monday through Friday, going to the J.U.M.P, I loved what I did. I loved working with my clients, well, most of my clients. I even liked working with some of my coworkers, maybe less of those, but it was getting to the point where I felt like I was just a hamster on the wheel, just going through the motions. How many of you guys have felt that way? How many guys have seen yourself working in a job and you either know the job so well that you can just do it in your sleep, or you've been at the job so long that you've hit the proverbial ceiling and there's just nowhere else you can go, but you keep going because you need that proverbial paycheck every 1st and 15th of the month, or you have kids that you have to take care of, or you have bills up to the wazoo, so you keep going back because you don't think there's any other way out. Yeah, I know you do. You don't even have to say anything. I know that's you. I felt that way for many years, but I got to the point where the old folks used to say you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you just know that there is something more out there for you. And if you don't do it now, then when? And see, life has a way of also putting you in that situation where you have no other options but option A. There is no plan B. There is no plan C. There is only plan A. And that's the situation that I found myself in, because it no longer was feasible to work the J.U.M.P and to work this, because I was spending so much time on the J.U.M.P that I was getting burnt out, and I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do when I came home, or I didn't have the time to do that because then other things got added to the plate, or the job started demanding more of your time. And when you're a salaried employee, you don't have a typical 9 to 5. Sometimes it's 9 to 5, sometimes it's 9 to 9, sometimes it's the next morning, Saturdays, weekends. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So at that point, I had to make the decision that it was time to make a change. And thank God I have a supportive wife. And thank God that we had this conversation a year ago and we had started putting seeds in place. And that's an important thing. You got to plant seeds. By no means am I telling anybody to jump and just leave their job right now with no plan in place. That's not what I'm saying. And if that's the message you got, let me make that change for you, because that might not be the way for you to jump. No one roadmap for jumping exists. Everybody is an individual. Everybody has an individual path, and everybody's going to have to decide in their own time and in their own space when it's your time to jump. But let me start off by saying there's 4 reasons why I think you must jump, and now is the best time in the world to jump. And why do I say that? Well, I say that because there's been a lot of things that have happened just this year that let me know in my life that there is no time like the present. And now is the time for me to just jump and grow my wings on the way down. And you guys take a look at this flyer that I added. Sometimes you just have to jump and grow your wings on the way down. Yes, sometimes there is not going to be a clear cut plan of action. Sometimes, despite your best efforts and your best planning, those plans just are not going to go according to plan. There is not going to be the right time. There's not going to be the right situation. There's not going to be the right circumstances. But you have got to look past all that, and then you have got to make the decision for yourself whether or not it is your time to jump. So let me tell you, I told you that my wife and I, we had talked about this plan. Our plan was to leave and move to a different location. I'm not going to tell you the different location. We got things still working out. You'll know if you keep following. But a year ago, we had decided to do this. As soon as we planted that seed into the universe, things little by little started to happen. Family situations started to happen where family needed things. And now, if you've been following me this year, you know how ill my sister has been. And just over a month ago, I thought she was knocking on heaven's door, but thank God, God still has another plan for her. She is still here. And thank you guys for your prayers, and thank you guys for continuing to pray as she continues to move along. But when you decide to plant that seed, to make a decision to change your location and to change your situation, that's when the devil gets busy. And the devil decided to hit me where I lived, literally. Because my sister is the closest thing to a second heart that I have. I've got my own heart, but if there was a second heart inside of me, it would have her name on it, because we have been ride or die, thick or thin, since I was born. She was here before I was, but she's the one who's protected me when I grew up. I'm the one who's been protecting her when, as we've become adults. Her son and her daughter feel like they're just like my own kids. So she has a special place in my heart. And the devil knew that if he hit me with her and sending her through some situations, that I might just pull back. And there have been times over this past year that I've wanted to pull back, that I've wrestled with myself, whether or not am I still going to jump, and what's going to happen to my sister if I jump. In your life, you're going to have these same things that are going to come into play when you decide to take that jump. But let me tell you this, in addition to it being a freeing feeling, when you decide to jump, let me talk to you about 4 other reasons. And the number one reason to jump is that now you join an elite group. When you think about the people that have jumped, who have just left and taken that leap of faith, there aren't a lot of names that automatically jump in your head. Maybe 2 or 3 names, and they're people that you really don't know. Maybe they're celebrities that have told their story of how they jumped or how they came from nothing. I remember vividly listening to Steve Harvey talking about his story of how he jumped, and he really wanted this career as a comedian. He wanted it so much that he spent 3 years of homelessness, sleeping in his car, driving from gig to gig. He would go to the gig, perform on the stage, get $50, which was enough for him to go to McDonald's and get something to eat, and then maybe go get a cheap motel room, or enough to put gas in his car. So he fell asleep in his car, and so that he would get enough sleep so he could drive to the next gig. Those type of stories. Elite groups. Maybe you hear stories of speakers like Les Brown, who wanted to be a radio DJ, but nobody would give him an opportunity. So he kept knocking on the door day in and day out for 29 days until the executive got tired of him coming and knocking on the door. But he didn't hire him to be a DJ. He hired him to be an assistant, sweeping the floors inside the radio station. But he took that job because now he was in position. He was in the place where he wanted to be. And he knew that if he was just in the place, then the opportunity would be there because he was in the place. So maybe you heard those type of stories. Maybe those people you think are up there. But when you decide in your own life to make that jump and make that leap, then you become part of that elite group. Yeah, your name may not be Les Brown, your name may not be Steve Harvey, but guess what? Your name becomes elite. Whoever you are, Sharon Johnson Leftridge, whoever you are, Sonia Y. Single, whoever you are, Maureen Gandy, your name becomes significant because you are now one of those people that did something that many people will be born, will exist, and will go to their grave never doing. Now recognize I said born, exist, and die. I didn't say born, live, and die. Because many people who do not take that jump end up just existing through life instead of living life. But when you decide to take that jump, when you decide that it is a must that you decide to be more than you are and to be exactly what you were created to be, then you become part of an elite group. You become an expert at jumping. Now you can tell the story of how you jumped. And don't get me wrong, don't think that just because you jumped that it's all going to be a great story. You jumped, you succeeded. No, 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 no. I know that just because I jumped, there's going to be some rocks that I'm going to hit on the way down. There's going to be some turbulence that I'm going to run into on the way down. But here's the one thing I know. I heard somebody else say that when you jump, the stress and the pressure from the leap will force your wings to open and fly. Come on, somebody. They say that the jumping, the action, the mere stress that it puts on your body and the pressure that it puts on your body when you jump will be the catalyst to cause your wings to open up and fly because your body doesn't want to die. And that's an elite group. You look at you look at the military, you look at the paragliders in the military who jump out of planes and they don't even have parachutes. They just have these special suits that when you extend your arms, the wings open up and they're able to fly and glide and do all these great things. They are part of an elite group. Not every person in the military can do that. Only a select few can do that. And that's what happens when you decide that you are going to jump. You become one of those elite members in that group. And I could stop right then and there. That I could stop the show, have an unstoppable week, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for being part of an elite group that jumped. And I would have saved somebody's life this week. But no. There are more. So let me tell you what else happens when you decide to jump. Let me break this down so that it will forever be broken. When you decide to jump, let's talk about the you in jump. When you decide to jump, you unveil your inner lion and you unleash your destiny. Your inner lion, your roar gets unleashed when you decide to jump. Have you seen people when they jump out of airplanes, whether they're jumping out solo or whether they're jumping out in tandem? The first thing they do when they jump out of that plane is what? They let out a roar, a yell, something, because it is just sheer exhilaration. It is excitement. When I left my job on July 31st, if I could have, I would have jumped up and clicked my heels as high as I could, because that's exactly how I felt inside. I felt like now the party's about to get started. Now you have the ability to unleash your destiny. You are no longer held back or held down by somebody else or some other restrictions. And you know, the lion is the king of the jungle. And when the lion roars, people sit back and listen. And if you decide to jump, when you decide to jump, people are going to sit up and they're going to take notice. Why? Because number one, I already told you, you're going to be part of that elite group. And what do people in elite groups have? They have groupies. Everybody wants to see what the person is going to do. Now, guess what? Some of them are going to want to see what you're doing because they want to see how soon you're going to crash and burn. But others, they want to see you succeed because they know that if you can do it, some ordinary Joe like Terrance or some ordinary person like yourself, if you can do it, then somebody who's watching you may have just started watching you, may be watching you for quite some time, now that they will know that you can do it too. When you unleash your destiny, when you unleash your purpose in life, now you're not only just helping yourself, but you are helping the people that have been waiting for what you have. See, here's the one thing I know. Each and every one of us, we were created with a purpose by the Creator. He didn't give three people the same purpose. He gave each and every one of us an individual purpose, an individual destiny, an individual path that only you can walk alone. That's why you came in by yourself and you're going to go out by yourself, because it's only your destiny that you can fulfill. But your destiny can make the difference in one other person, or it has the ability to make the difference in 1,000 other people, depending on what your destiny is. And if you never jump, if you never unleash your lion, if you never unleash your destiny, then maybe that one person isn't affected. But guess what? Maybe those 1,000 people aren't affected either. And wouldn't it be a shame if you were created with this destiny that could save one life or even 1,000 lives, and you didn't do your part and you left this earth without reaching your destiny? Number one, wouldn't that be a shame for you? But number two, wouldn't that also be a shame for the people that you were created to have an effect on? Yeah, that's why it's so important for you to jump, because you get to unleash your destiny on the world. You get to walk in your purpose. You get to manifest the greatness that God placed inside of you to give to other people. So while you become part of this elite group, you also become a person that now can have an effect on a whole person, a whole set of people, a whole generation of people, and so on and so on and so on. Yes, indeed, Sonia. I'm teaching. I'm going to break it down. Yes, Sharon. Thank you. Yes, unleash your destiny. It is so important to do that. And just having this conversation with you guys tonight is such a freeing feeling. This was not a conversation that I would have been willing to do maybe a year ago, because I knew the next morning I'd have to get up and go do something for someone else. I wasn't truly walking in my purpose, and I am ready to unleash my destiny, because I know my destiny was created for a reason. I know there's a purpose that I'm supposed to fulfill. I don't know if that purpose is just for you or if it's for all of you, but I know there is a purpose out there, and I thank God that He has given me the ability to jump. And my arms are spread, y'all. Now watch me fly. All right. Yes, 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 yes. Let me take a second real quick, because I see somebody has jumped into the lobby. So I want to bring on this lovely person. I happen to know her. She happens to be my little sister from another mother, but she is doing phenomenal things. She is a versatile woman that embodies all of her gifts to teach, reach, and serve others through openness, giving, and sincerity. She is a true woman of God, and she is transformational. She is none other than my buddy, my friend, Acquilla Faye.
Hey, big bro.
Hey, little sis. How are you, girl?
You know what? I'm so grateful that it took you a moment to get to me, because you was on a roll. And I said, you know what? With all the things that's been happening in today is Tuesday, the last 3 days, from the awesomeness to the woo, back to the awesomeness. It was phenomenal. We talk about that jump, because Saturday, we talk about a jump. A lot of times we think about jumping from one career to another, or not procrastinating on a goal we have to going into another rim, right? My son, my 10-year-old son, I have never swam ever in my life. I wanted to, I couldn't. It just won't happening. I had a fear of water because I almost drowned twice. And my son taught me how to swim on Saturday. And I swam for the first time Saturday because I said I can't not do what my baby asking me, because I don't want to disappoint him. And we don't try, we do.
Absolutely. And it's such a great segue, because you jumped because of your son.
Yes.
You took a leap of faith because your why was more important than your fear. And sometimes the jump occurs because your why becomes more important than the fear of jumping.
Yes.
Sometimes it's more important to take the jump than it is to be fearful of jumping. You know, we talk about failure. We talk about people sometimes they fail because they never start, because the fear of failing is stronger than the actual story or the actual reality that comes along with trying.
Oh my God. When you say that, Terrance,
go ahead.
It was like, so when I had my son was an intentional baby. He is an intentional baby. I was with my son's father, for a long time. We planned him for 3 years. The year of his conception, we changed our diets, we changed our prayer life, everything. We meditate on how we wanted him to be, how we wanted him to look, how we wanted him to act. We made an agreement with each other about, if you're not healthy mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, don't come around. If I'm not healthy mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, I won't come around. Because we both been through abusive situations and a lot of rims. So we were very, very intentional about my son. About to get married, 7 months pregnant. This dude say, "Oh, I'm gone." I said, "Hold up."
Hold up, wait a minute.
What you doing? What you doing, buddy? We've been together like 8 years. What you talking about? Like, I don't understand. But I promised myself I would be a mom and be a stay-at-home mom. And for the first years, I worked as a teacher full-time, got some people to support me. And then I realized my son needed more support. He had 2 frontal lobe injuries from daycare and from school. And I said, I have to be here to build my baby back up. And I said, you know what? I have a lot of skills, a lot of talents. I am willing to quit this job because I believe in me and I believe in God. And it was actually the reverse. I believe in God, and then I believed in myself. And my belief in God made me believe in myself. You understand? So y'all listen, my belief in God made me believe in myself. So I quit my job for 3 years from the ages, my son was 5 up until last year. So actually 4 years. And I was at his school every week, volunteering. I ain't missed nothing but 2 field trips. I mean, been there because I wanted to be there for my son. And I said, just because I don't have a husband doesn't mean I can't be a mom in the fashion of a stay-at-home mom, because I believe in my talents and my abilities. And no matter how challenging it may get, it's okay, because at the end of the day, my baby is going to progress, know he's loved, and I'm able to support him to learn in the way that he learns. And I think a lot of times people are scared to do that because they're like, but what if? But what if you don't? What if I didn't do that? Would my son be the same person he is today? Most likely not. What if I didn't do that? Would I have learned about what industry I want to work in and which one I don't? What if I didn't do that? Would I have realized how much God really loves me and how much protection is around me? That's the other what if that people don't think about. What if it could have been great?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
So you know what? Before you go any further, let's go back to the day you jumped, because you you have a great reason for jumping. And I think before you came on, we were talking about the 4 reasons why you must jump and be unstoppable.
Yes.
And the first 2 reasons I threw out there was, number 1 is the J, you join an elite group. And then
Mm-hmm.
the U was that you get to unleash you get to unveil your inner lion, and you get to
Mm.
unleash your destiny. And it sounds like to me that your inner lion came out when you started to see how it was affecting your son. But I'd
Yes.
rather you tell us tell us about the moment you decided to jump.
So the first moment was 7 months pregnant, and the man I thought I was going to spend my life with left. And I was raised on a farm with elders who had been married 50 years and 70 years and things like that. So as far as I was concerned, once you get with a man, you love, you support, you elevate each other. That's just what it is. You work through things. When he left, I said, wow, this baby ain't asked for none of these consequences that's arising from this decision that had nothing to do with me or him. And that was my first jump. I had to jump into realizing that what I had been taught was not the reality I had to live. And it hurt. It was confusing. It angered me. I remember just telling people when they said, how was your day? I'm like, oh, I'm enraged. How are you? They were like, oh, pause.
Okay.
What?
They
You
weren't
know?
expecting to
And
hear
I was
that one, were
right.
they?
And I would say it with joy. I'm enraged, but let's not talk about me. Let's focus on you. And they were like, whoa. But I also was like, I have to honor my feelings. I can't sit up here. It's no benefit in pretending I'm not sad or angry or frustrated, because in doing that, I'm hurting myself and I'm hurting my baby. I'm hurting those around me. So I have to honor myself first and say, you know what? No, I'm not in a good place. And if you're really my friend, if you're really my family, you're going to say, okay, what's going on? And if you're not really my friend and you're not really my family, you're going to turn your back. So that was the first jump, was being able to break and realize those relationships that were toxic, and break and realize those relationships that were beneficial, and break and realize I don't need somebody else for me to be good because I have a strong foundation.
And because you had a strong foundation, you also was placed on a path where you found your destiny,
Exactly.
for what you're doing right now. It encompasses everything that you were doing for other people before, but now you get to do it for yourself and on your own terms. So tell them
Exactly.
what your destiny turned out to be and the truth that you're walking in right
So
now.
I'm gonna be real. You know what's so awesome? So you all, I'm gonna be real with you. As I find this object on yesterday, just on yesterday, can I tell you the last 3 days have been phenomenal. Um, so Saturday I learned how to swim. Sunday
Mm-hmm.
I had a really cool night with my son watching cooking shows, and he cooked some ramen noodles and all that great stuff. We had a great time laughing and joking and tickling each other. Monday, my car started smoking white smoke, had to fix that. And yesterday I ran through a tree. After hydro click, until my car said boo boo boo, I was like, we gotta live. And I drove through the tree. And if y'all want to see more, check out my Facebook page, Acquilla Faye, Acquilla. You can see the whole video because I made a video right after the incident. I watched it today and I started crying. I didn't realize how emotional I was from it because it was that scary. To go from like a clear dashboard to all leaves and
Wow.
say, I don't want me and my baby and my best friend to die, and say, you know what, we can either flip into a ditch or we can drive through a tree. That ain't really the best choices, but that's life.
Yeah.
Sometimes the choices we have to make, neither one of them seems like the best choice, but when you don't panic, out of the two, you'll figure out the one that will help you to keep moving forward. And driving through that tree kept us moving forward. Flipping in a ditch, I wouldn't be here today, I don't believe, because you can't control a car flipping over. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Well, we are so glad that you are okay. Your baby's okay. Your best friends
Yeah.
are okay. And
Yeah.
you said things come in 3. So Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Yep.
whole nother conversation. But
Right. So
uh,
I'm saying that to say this. Finding my destiny, I was born the way I am. A lot of us, when we come into this world, we already know what we want to do. We know where we want to go. We know who we want to help. Based on our family, our schools, our friends, we may detour a little bit. We may detour. But that core is still there. That child who wanted to be an astronaut, they just love science and space. So even as an adult, when they get a job doing accounting, when they become an IT, they still love science. It doesn't go away. It's all about what you choose to focus upon. So in that situation with the car, I had been clearing out my storage. Check this out.
wow.
I
What?
made that when I was 9 years old.
Wow. Okay.
9 years old.
So
And
you were,
this is paper mache. Paper mache.
and tell them what you do now every day.
And so from going from that in my childhood and being supported, now what I do, I educate people on how to, this gonna sound cliche, y'all, but I mean it for real. How to be your best self, how to embrace you. So I work on teaching people meditation techniques, techniques on how to heal. We forget healing is necessary, one, and healing is real, number two. And you can put it in the other order. Healing is real and it's necessary. It's not okay to say, I'm grown, I'm used to being stressed out. That's just how it is when you're an adult. No, you can heal your life. You can let go of the pain. And normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to tell y'all the 3 things you got to do to heal. You got to forgive the person or persons involved. You got to forgive yourself. And you got to forgive the situation.
Mm.
The situation itself is what allowed for whatever to happen to happen. So you got to forgive the situation in addition to that person, in addition to yourself. So if you're like, oh, well, I didn't mean for me to go through that, but you still was there. And there's a part of your soul, a part of your spirit, a part of your emotions that needs you to say to yourself, I forgive me.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's my little sis there. That is Dr. Acquilla Faye. She is joining us on the Unstoppable Story Show. We are talking about jumping and growing your wings on the way down. And she just gave you some extra life nuggets that you can use on your journey of when you jump.
Mm-hmm.
And recognize jumping isn't just the big jump. There's going to be some little jumps in between that you're gonna have to take. You're gonna have to be willing to jump out of a situation in
Yes.
order to get to the situation that you were intended to be. Many times we can't get to where we're trying to go because we are afraid to leave where we
Mm-hmm.
are. You can't get to the job that God created for you because you're afraid to leave the job that you found yourself stuck
Yes.
in. You can't get to the relationship God created you to be in because you're afraid to jump out of the relationship that is causing you headaches, that's causing you to lose your hair, that's causing you to lose
Mm-hmm.
weight, that's causing you to lose all these other things that you're blaming on other reasons, when the real reason is that you're just afraid to jump. You're afraid to join that elite group. And that elite group, we talk about people who in their relationships, they either break up or they get divorced. So, and they're that elite group that nobody
Right.
wants to be a part of. I don't want to be divorced. I don't want to
Yeah.
have that label. I don't
Exactly.
want to break up. I don't want to be alone. Who wants to be alone? But you can't move to something better until you leave that bad thing behind. So
Big bro. Big
yes,
bro. When you
yes.
said being alone, I think that's one of the most important things with jumping. I I don't care what your religious belief is, your spiritual practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that you have this higher being with you all the time, right? And also opening your eyes. A lot of times we don't see the people who love us because we don't love us. When you open your eyes to love you, you can see who loves you. You're never alone. And there's a
Absolutely.
difference between being alone and being lonely. And
Yeah.
often people think, oh, if I'm by myself, I'm lonely. No, you should love you enough to where when there's nobody calling your phone, there's nobody liking your stuff, there's nobody to visit. You and you is so wonderful, so beautiful, so phenomenal, so powerful that you start creating all types of wonderful things to where all of a sudden everybody want to be at the party.
I got you. And you know what? That's going to segue into our third reason why you should jump. And here it is. Basically, it's the M. And the M stands for when you make a move, God makes a way. See, what we were just talking about, you can't find out what it's like to spend time with yourself because you have been conditioned to say that the only way I will feel good about myself is if I have somebody with me who feels
Mm-hmm.
good about me. Sometimes
Right.
you got to jump out of a relationship in order to see that God wants you to have a relationship with yourself and with him. He wants you to have that one-on-one relationship with him. So if you are in tune with him, then he can give you the connections of the people that you are supposed to be with. But Dr. Faye, we are so afraid to spend that time with ourselves. We're so afraid to jump out of that bad relationship because that means we got to spend time with ourselves. And truth be told, some people may think that it's worse to spend time with themselves than it is to spend time with
But
someone
you
else.
know why? You know why that is?
Why is that?
I spent a lot of studies working with people in psychology and studying happiness and things of this nature. Um, Most people are scared to be with themselves because that's when you have to deal with your truth.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes it seems easier to ignore your truth. It seems easier to ignore your hardships. It seems easier to ignore the things that you might want to grow in and things like that. But it's actually harder because every day you go through that process of ignoring, you become disgruntled and bitter, aggressive. You ever met an aggressive Christian? I love Jesus. I ain't got nothing. You be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Back
I
up.
don't recall Jesus getting mad but one time, but you seem a little upset. I'm gonna need you to
Mhm.
be more secure, right? Or you
Right.
meet another culture as well, and they just be real aggressive because it's a lack of security. It's like, wow, I gotta admit that I was raped. I gotta admit that I lost my job. I gotta admit I wasn't the best spouse. I gotta admit I didn't visit my parents as much before they passed away. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Because until you can do that and you can look at you and say, you know what? I'm going to do better moving forward. I'm going to do better. And what I did then taught me now to appreciate people more. What I didn't do then taught me now I don't want to have remorse. I don't want to have sorrow. You don't want to go through sadness. You want to be able to look back over any situation because we all know that we're going to die one day and say, you know what? I did the best that I could do in that situation. And that
Absolutely.
is responsibility. And that R word scares people so much. Responsibility? What you mean? Like what happens in my life is my fault? Yes. Yes, it
You know,
is.
Dr. Faye Rage Johnson says, love self first, then you will know how to love on others. I hope I'm
Yes.
pronouncing your first name right. I appreciate that. And Nikki Hammer she says, yes, she's in that situation right now. So, Nikki, we definitely will have to talk
Yes,
offline, get
blessings.
more information about your situation.
Blessings.
But but that jumping, when you decide to make a move, when you decide to jump out of that relationship and
Yes.
spend time with yourself, when you decide to jump out of that job and start focusing on what's passionate about you. I know it because it's already happened to me. You know it because it's happened to you, Dr. Faye.
Yeah.
But now we want you guys to understand that God will make a way. We've got
Yes.
we've got another buddy. We've got another colleague in the speaking world that was also had a similar situation. Not going to name any names, but she jumped, and
Mm-hmm.
but it maybe it wasn't a jump. Maybe it was a aggressive push.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
An aggressive push. And it wasn't really her time. And there's never really a perfect time. I said that at the beginning of the show. There's never a really perfect time to jump. Sometimes you just gotta jump and grow your wings on the way down. So she's in this in situation where she was pushed.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't like this situation. I wasn't ready for this, but now I got to figure out something I got to do. And she told one of her close friends about it. And her close friend, Dr. Faye, had a hallelujah party. That's what she said. That's what it sounded like to her. This
Wow.
person had a hallelujah party because she got pushed out into a situation. And the colleague said, well, why are you having a hallelujah party about this? I'm not happy about this. I'm not saying hallelujah about this. The person said to her, I had been waiting on you to leave that job so I could put in store for you the things that I see for you. Do you hear me? People are looking for you. People are looking at you. People see things in you that you can't see in yourself. People have opportunities for you that they want to give to you, but they can't give to you because you're not in position to be ready for the opportunities.
Oh, big bro, right there.
Right there.
We have to welcome being able to receive.
Absolutely.
A lot of times we're really good at giving. A lot of times we are really good at sharing advice. But when it comes to us receiving advice or receiving the same help we give others, it's like the ego comes in and says, and we have to be able to say, you know what, God, you know what, ancestors, you know what, universe, I embrace receiving. I am willing to receive from others. I am willing to receive advice. I am willing to receive opportunity. I am willing to receive direction. And even with that, I just made another jump. I jumped back into the job market.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to leap your little behind back.
Absolutely.
And you're not going backwards, but you're going forward when you leap into the right career opportunity. And you got to sit down and know yourself well enough to manifest. And when I say manifest, it means be specific with your requests and your prayers. Don't just say you want a job paying $60,000. If you know you want a job where they only got 50 employees or 5 employees, you ain't got to be to work till a certain time of day, you want it to be a certain type of culture, all of that, you need to specify that and allow yourself to say, you know what? Okay, I did this first leap. That was cool. I got my wings. I hit a couple of cliffs. I broke a leg. Dang, my arm still hurt. But you know what? I'm on this plateau. While you're on that plateau, jump back into a career. When you're an entrepreneur, jump back into it. Stack your money. Stack your money.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will tell you.
Up, she got so hot that she got kicked off. But great points that Dr. Faye was making, and we're going to make sure that she can jump back in, go back out and jump back in. But as I said at the beginning, jumping isn't just jumping out of a job into entrepreneurship. There are some people who are watching the show that your jump may be jumping from one career to the next career. Many times we don't make that jump and we stay stagnant in the job that we are because we are afraid on what's on the other side of the door. But here's what I'm saying with the letter M in the word jump, that when you make a move, God makes a way. Let me tell you, there was another colleague of mine who was dead tired with her job. We worked together for many years. She was good at what she does. She made a difference in the lives of the clients that she worked with, but she was just tired of the BS that was going on. And she decided to make a move. What was her move, Coach T, you say? Let me tell you. 6 months before she left her job, she got a box, one of those, if you work in an office, the paper box, the paper for the printer comes in this big box. You get like 8 different stacks of paper, and there's about 500 sheets in each ring, and they're in this box. She went to the room where we throw the boxes away, and she got one of those empty boxes, and she came into her office and she started packing up her office, took her pictures off her desk, took her certificates off the wall, put them in that box, and put that box under her desk. And I said to her, are you leaving us? And she said, yeah. And I said, when? And she said, I don't know. But when I do, I'll be ready. 6 months before she knew where she was moving to, 6 months before she knew what she was going to do next, she started preparing. She took the jump. Now, the jump doesn't mean that you're actually going to walk out of your job that day, but you take the jump in your mind. You know, they tell you that it happens in the mind first, and then it happens in reality. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your mind prepared for the jump. Before anyone jumps out of the plane, they take an instructional class. They meet with an instructor so that they know the things that they have to do to prepare for that jump. No one just gets in the plane without a parachute and then just jumps out. No, you first get your mind right so that when you do get in the plane and when you do get the jump, as much as possible, you have an ideal of what's going to happen. So for you, your jump may not be from one job into entrepreneurship. Maybe for you, your jump is from that job that is driving you crazy into that job that you were created to be a part of, or into the job that now God wants you to be. I said it, if you make a move, God makes a way. If you make a move, God makes a way. If you make a move and leave that place that's driving you crazy, God's going to make a way so that you get to the place where you can be doing what you're supposed to do, and that you will give glory to him in what you are doing. But you got to make the move. Trust me, if you make the move to jump, then you will unveil your destiny. You will unveil your inner lion, and then you will join that elite group of jumpers that are making a difference in the lives of others all across the world. But here's the fourth reason why you must, and then we'll bring our guests back in for the end of the show. The fourth reason why I feel that you must jump is because now you get to pull your own strings and to prove what you're really made of. Yes, you know what? Now that I have jumped, I really get to make my own schedule. Now that I have jumped, I get to focus on the things that are important to me. Now that I have jumped, I get to make my own agenda, not having to kowtow to somebody else's directives or instructions. I am no longer a puppet being pulled by somebody else's strings. Hello, somebody. Somebody is going to get that after they watch this replay, and somebody's going to share this information with somebody else. Now you are the captain of your ship. Now you are the proverbial arrow on your own compass, and you get the ability to decide where you want to go. You don't have to be told what to do. But here's the other side. Now you have to do what you know you need to do. Don't get it twisted. Because you jumped, don't think that everything is just going to work itself out and you just sit back and coast. Entrepreneurs will tell you that you will work harder for yourself than you will ever work for anybody else. No, there will not be a set 9 to 5. Sometimes when you got used to working at 9 in the morning, you might not start working till 9 at night, and you will be burning the midnight oil. But it will be you making that decision. You will be pulling your own strings. You will be up at 4 o'clock in the morning working on your dream, as opposed to not being able to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning because you dread that alarm going off at 5 o'clock in the morning to go work on somebody else's dream. When you jump, you get to pull your own strings, and now you get to prove what you're really made of. Sometimes we don't know what we're made of until we are put in situations where we have to prove what we're made of. Talk about it. Talk about it. You will not know who you are made of until you have to write your own business plan. You will not know who you're made of until you have to do those cold calls and trying to pitch your items, your product, or your service. You will not know who you're made of until you step on that stage in front of 3 people or 300 people and present and try to motivate them and take them to the next level of them greatness. You will not know what you're made of until you jump. Until you jump, you're just standing on the cliff, and out there is opportunity. Opportunity is not going to come on the cliff and invite you in. You've got to jump out into the land of opportunity. And sometimes that means you're going to have to jump into an empty space. Sometimes that means you're going to have to jump into a situation that ain't perfect. And you're going to have to figure it out on the way down. But when you do, God will be there to make a way, and He will help you make the right decisions. But those are what you have to do. When you jump, you join an elite group. When you jump, you unveil your inner lion and you unleash your destiny. When you jump, you make a move knowing that God is going to make a way. And when you jump, now you are able to pull your own strings and to prove what you are made of. When you jump, you are on your way to being unstoppable. Those are my 4 reasons why you should jump, and the 4 reasons why I jumped. And I want to bring my beautiful little sis back on, give her some final thoughts before we give out. And again, I want to do one more time, like I said, this is my show, and that's the only, I'm pulling my own strings on my own show. So here we go. This is also what I want to do. I'm going to put it back up one more again. There is the link to get on and share your unstoppable story. I have never, ever in the 2 years I have done this show allowed that link to go out live for anybody to jump on in. Wendell Graham, I see you out there. Come on, Wendell Graham. I know you got an unstoppable story of how you jumped. Go to that link. Jump out that feed right now. Go on that link. Come on in the lobby, and I will bring you in, because I think it is important on this Tuesday night at this appointed time. Somebody needs to jump. Somebody is looking for the reason to jump. Somebody is looking for the motivation that will allow them to jump even when they don't know what's on the other side of that cliff.
Big bro,
we are here. Yes, little sis.
I gotta tell you.
Tell me.
So right now I'm sitting in my car talking to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when people think about jumping, sometimes there's a false illusion, like it's this beautiful jump with rainbows and gumdrops and everything falling down, and you just gonna have this whole little bucket and catch all this candy. The reality is, it feels like that if you allow your mind to be there and you train yourself to just accept without attachment to expectation. That's one thing I help people do, like not to have the expectation, but to set the goal and reach it, right? So right now I'm talking to you from the car because I drove through that tree yesterday, right? So when I drove through that tree, I was going to be here earlier, right? Just so we can get a real-time experience. As I was on my way to where I need to be to get onto the technology, the car started smoking again. I called you immediately, which still gave you about 30, 45 minutes to prepare, thank God, and said, hey, is some smoke coming from the car? I need to handle that, but I'm still coming. That's another jump that people don't realize. Sometimes the jump is saying, I'm going to keep my word, the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. And yes, you might have to change your word. Like, oh man, I thought I could do it at 7, but something came. Let somebody know, because the energy you put forth, the way you carry yourself, the things that you do and don't do, that's exactly what you're going to get from others.
Absolutely.
Your character is the jump.
Absolutely.
Develop your character.
And when you jump, make sure you continue that journey, and make sure you let people know about the journey, because the one thing I know for a fact is that my word, despite everything else that may happen, my word is, at the end of the day, is the only thing that I have to draw back on. What I say and what I do, again, I always give my boy Patrick Artis this accolades for the quote: if the words in my mouth, on my tongue, don't match the words in my shoe, then why should anyone listen to you? And that's what it is. And when you jump, think about Think about the mountain climbers, not the ones going up the mountains, but the ones who rappel down the mountains. Think about the window washers who clean the windows on the skyscrapers each and every day. When they jump from the top of the mountain, they don't just automatically go all the way down to the bottom. Sometimes they jump from one ledge to the next ledge.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I trying to say to you? When you jump, you may have other jumps that you have to make after you make
Yes.
the initial jump.
That's the point.
Because
That's
you're
what
going to
people
go from
miss,
different
though,
levels.
bro.
Yes.
Like, it's like, okay, so this is the way to kind of, for those who watch now and who watch later, when you decide to make a decision, so replace the word jump with decision. When you make that decision, you see the final outcome. You're like, and that outcome might take 5 years, 10 years, 3 months, but it's not 24 hours. Okay. And you have to be ready to say, I'm willing to endure the path to get the vision that God has given to you. Now, if you don't use the word God, universal,
Creator,
whatever, creator, Buddha, everything, whatever that bigger force is that gave you that vision, yourself, when you looked in the mirror and you just believed in yourself enough, you have to know there's still a process there. And you got to follow that process. If you're not willing to follow a process, it can decline very quickly. And you can feel like, oh my goodness, there's no parachute because you forgot to pull the little string to make it jump out. The parachute was still in the backpack. You just freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you make those decisions and forget to structure it out, or you're not willing to invest in yourself or someone else. Because it's not really investing in yourself per se. It's investing in someone else to invest in you. It's a reciprocal relationship. It's a symbiotic relationship. When you get a coach, when you get a mentor, yes, you're paying that person. But as a return, you're getting the things you need that you couldn't see. You're getting that space to go to and be safe and work through your thoughts. You're getting someone who's willing to support you as you grow. Because trust and believe, my brother and I don't work with everybody. So you could come and have all the money in the world. And if the spirit be like, no, they ain't ready, guess what? You ain't going to get that service.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
your spirit got to be in the right place and understand that that coach also has a decision to work with you. It's symbiotic. It's not codependent. It's symbiotic. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. That's another step. Learn how to look up words and learn what they
Absolutely.
mean. Don't depend on everyone to give you everything. You got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to
Absolutely.
search.
And when you jump, all those great new words are going to come your way because now
Yes.
you're opened yourself to new experiences
Yes.
and new opportunities to not only be different but to do different and
Yes.
to have different.
Yes.
That definition that's out there. If you do the same things expecting a different result, what's that called? Insanity.
A
But
little loopy. That's a
yeah. But
little
when you decide, and what I want to say real quick about that is making a decision is part of the jump. It's a skill set. Dr. Faye, many people never make the jump because they never make the decision to jump. And that keeps them in the same place, doing the same thing, and often out there hoping, praying, looking for a different result. But it is a skill. Decision making is a skill, and it requires you to do something else. It requires you to take an action. And that action is important. That decision is an action. Jumping is an action.
You know what? You said decision is an action. Most people that I work with, they don't realize your thought process is an action.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize that whatever's in your mind, whatever up here, whatever right here. Oh, my spirit told me, whatever in your soul, those are actions. It's up to you to recognize those actions. Every thought is an action. Every conversation you have with somebody is an action. Every place you go is an action. You have to be intentional. You have to, I'm going to say it again, be intentional. Think about what everything you're doing is. Just back to this moment, I could have told you, hey, due to driving through a tree and the car smoking, I can't be here. I said, no, I'm going to talk to you from the car while I get together because this is important. I gave you my word. And there's somebody who need to hear that message. And it might be somebody who needs to know in real time, oh, wow, it ain't always perfect. No, but that doesn't have to stop you. Hence the unstoppable stories, the unstoppable coach, the unstoppable show. You got to be unstoppable. You can't let things arise and say, oh, well, I'll do it another day. Another day might not come. Another day might not come. And people might need to hear you on that day, in that moment, on that specific place that you're standing.
Yes.
You know, when you coming out the bathroom, washing your hands, you happen to think, dang, my grandma told me that when you wash your hands, it means the Lord gonna bless you. Somebody might need to hear that. You might have thought it was crazy to say that, but that might have been the phrase that other person in the bathroom need to hear for some reason.
Absolutely.
You gotta move on it.
Wendell Graham says decision making is a skill that can be learned. I love it.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Well, you know what? We got, I jumped, you jumped. We're telling people how to jump. But you know what? They might want to, maybe they don't want to learn how to jump from me. Maybe they want to learn from the transformational expert herself, Dr. Acquilla Faye. So how can they get in contact with you if they want to continue their jumping conversation with you?
Oh, that's beautiful because you're awesome. Like, you help me, John. I love all the stuff you do, honestly. But we all do have a certain vibration. So I have some free resources. One, follow me on Instagram, Acquilla Faye, ACQUILLA FAYE. For real, Google me. Google Dr. Acquilla Faye. You'll find my websites and everything. In addition to that, my YouTube channel are some videos there. Excuse me, you all. And then you can always email me to set up a consultation. My consultations do have a fee. I do free consultations for about 10 minutes. And then after that, the way God works through me, you might need one consultation, but and then we just work with each other. You know what I mean? Because that's happened so many times. That's happened over 15 times. So I'm just saying, like, for real, an hour to an hour and a half of your life with me, you will get a lot of clarity because that's how God works through me. You see me, I'm a vessel. God works through me because of how much I love y'all. So you can email me, AquillaFaye@gmail.com. That's ACQUILLAFAYE@gmail.com. And that's also my website, AquillafAye.com. You can find me everywhere, TribeTransform.com. And get your corporate services as well, TribeTransform.com. That's where you can see all the workshops and all the different things. So just reach out, let me know. I love interacting with you all, meeting you all. And I'll be honest, the one thing that I'm so grateful for is that God allowed me to go through so many scenarios in my life and to still look like I'm super young and I'm way older than what I look. Trust and believe. That I can tell you from experience and from education and from training and from networking, I can guide, I can support, and I'm so sincere. And so as long as you're ready to be honest, don't call me if you ain't ready to be honest. Now, let me tell you who I'm not for. I'm not for those who like to fake. I'm not for those who's not honest. And I'm not for those who are not authentic. Now, if that ain't you, contact me.
Peace and blessings. I love it. And you know what? I love it that despite your busy schedule, I love it that despite you driving through a tree, I love it that despite a smoking car, you still showed the world tonight that not only did you know how to jump, but you knew how to be unstoppable. So I love you for that, little sis. Thank you for jumping on and sharing your story of how you jumped and why it was important for you to jump. And I just continue to pour and send blessings your way. And thanks for bringing some extra value to the Unstoppable Stories Show this evening. Okay.
Thank you, love. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me be unstoppable. I love you. I appreciate you. And you all Terrance Leftridge is an awesome coach. He's phenomenal, and he has a heart of gold. So if you want to learn how to be unstoppable, definitely contact him. If you want to work with both of us, that's possible too. You don't have to choose. You like, oh, I love both of you. You can work with both of us. You can work with both of us. We're not selfish. He and I are not selfish, to be honest. So you can do both, okay? We love you, and I love you, and thank you so much for this opportunity as well. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. I'm going to put you down in the lobby for a second, but I want you to get off that dark road out that car. So just hold on just a second, okay? That's
right.
Dr. Acquilla Faye on the Unstoppable Stories Show with Terrance Leftridge. And we are talking about jumping and growing your wings on the way down. Thank you guys for who hung around. Yes, thank you, Wenda, for dropping in. Great interview, powerful synergy. You know, we talking about what we're doing. We talking about jumping. We're talking, this is some important stuff. Somebody need to understand that my story, I know my story isn't for everybody, but I felt it was important for me to share my story with you, my tribe, so that you will know that some of the things that you're going through, I'm going through too. Some of the fears you have, I have too. Some of the things I'm telling you to do, I'm only telling you to do them because I am doing them too. And if I can be unstoppable and I can show you how to be unstoppable, then hey, maybe you can be unstoppable too. And imagine what the world would be if we had a world full of unstoppable people. Imagine that for a second. But the only way that we can have a world full of unstoppable people is if we help people stop being stopped in their own fears, in their own insecurities, in their own dead end situations, and show them how and that it's possible for each and every one of you to jump and grow your wings on the way down too. So I want you to continue to follow this journey with me. If you want to have a closer relationship with me in Unstoppable Coaching, then that is possible too. All you got to do is reach out to me at unstoppablecoaching.com, unstoppablecoaching.com, where we help you create your vision, implement your vision, and more importantly, we hold you accountable to living the life you were created to live. It is so important, especially in this day and age, especially in this time of uncertainty, especially in this time of where I dare say we are living the last chapters in the greatest book ever written, the chapters of Revelation. It is so important that you take that jump and start living the life you were created to live and walking in your purpose. Making every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds may run out. And why would you ever settle for less when you know you can be unstoppable? I don't think anybody on the show wants to go to their grave thinking they didn't do enough, or they weren't enough, or they didn't do everything they could with the life that was given to them. So if you need help in getting your message out to the masses, if you need help in getting that book written, now's the time. If you need help in creating your own show like this, reach out to me. Now is the time. If you need help in getting interviews and getting on stages so that people can know about your products and services, reach out to me. Now is the time. Now is the time for you to join that elite group. Now is the time for you to unveil your inner lion and unleash your destiny. Now is the time to make a move and know that God will make a way. And now is the time to pull your own strings and to prove what you're truly made of. Yes, now is the time for you to jump. And wherever you are in the world today, I want you to decide right now two things. I want you to decide now that I'm going to jump. And number two, I want you to decide that you're not just going to make it a great day. You're going to make it an unstoppable day. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. And until then, go out and you jump too. Take care.